As the sun slowly set over Los Angeles, a black SUV pulled up in front of a fancy restaurant in the heart of the city. Scarlett Johansson stepped out. She wore a simple but elegant dress. There was a calm, yet tired look on her face. She didn't want attention. She just wanted a quiet dinner, to feel like a normal person. Inside, the restaurant was filled with soft jazz music and dim lighting. The tables were full but orderly. Scarlett walked straight to a small table in the corner. Just then, a waiter appeared. His black shirt was wrinkled. His eyes looked tired but sharp. His name was Sam. He wasn't the type to chat with customers. He just did his job, quietly. I had a reservation under Scarlett Johansson, but no one even looked at me when I came in. Is this place always this unorganized? I'm very sorry, ma'am. I'll bring your menu right. She nodded slightly, already sensing the night might not go smoothly. As Sam walked back toward the kitchen, a thought ran through his head. They're all the same, rich, famous, arrogant, always looking down on people like me. He couldn't stop thinking about what had just happened in the kitchen. The head chef had yelled at him in front of everyone, said he was late, said his pay would be cut. Sam hadn't even been able to buy his mother's medicine that day. Scarlett's expression only added to the weight he was already carrying. You still haven't brought me any water. I've been waiting forever. Of course, right away. He forced the words out, but inside, his patience was wearing thin. Just then, the restaurant manager noticed Scarlett and started heading over to her table. She raised her hand to stop him. No, I just want the waiter to handle it. Don't try to make me feel special. Sam heard that, and something shifted. Maybe, just maybe, she wasn't like the rest. But the silence between them wouldn't last. Because in just a few minutes, something would happen. Something that would change both of their lives forever. Scarlett set the menu down on the table, her eyes still fixed on the waiter. Sam was filling a water bottle, clearly shaken by the earlier tension. Scarlett's eyes were cold, her voice icy. I wanted to order. Sam stopped. He stared at Scarlett but quickly looked away. Sorry if there was any mix-up. Mix-up? Was it the way you looked down on me? Or how you walked away before taking my order? Because both were a few people at any Maya. I don't know what am. Just then, the restaurant manager, Paul, came over trying to ease the mood. He smiled, but his face looked tense. Good evening, Ms. Johansson. I apologize on behalf of our waiter. I'm sure there's been some misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? I've been waiting for a salad for 40 minutes and your waiter talks to me like he's giving me a lesson. This kind of neglect is unacceptable in a place like this. Sam, we need to talk. Please step to the back. Sam hesitated and looked down. From the manager's face, it was clear this wasn't just a simple talk. Maybe some training would help him learn how to treat customers. Sam walked to the back without saying a word, but the shame on his face wasn't just about losing his job. Behind those eyes, hiding from Scarlett's gaze, was another pain, a heavy burden, a whole life. But Scarlett didn't know the story behind that face yet. Scarlett returned to her table. She placed her bag beside the chair and sat down. The murmurs around slowly started to fade, but the air at her table stayed icy. To an outsider, she looked like just another spoiled, arrogant Hollywood star. But inside Scarlett's heart, a different storm was raging. She pulled out her phone and checked her messages. There were texts from her manager, her ex, and her publicist. But her eyes stopped on one message. New results about your mother's condition came in. We need to talk. Her eyelids trembled. She turned off the screen and closed her eyes for a moment. In the back, near the kitchen, manager Paul and Sam were standing, talking. Paul's voice was patient but firm. Manager Paul, serious tone. Sam, do you know how many problems this is now? Everyone here knows their job. Why do you keep running into trouble with customers? A problem with someone like Scarlett Johansson will burn us all on social media. Sam, clenching his teeth. I know, Paul, but you didn't see how she looked at me, like I was nothing, like I wasn't even human. Manager Paul, holding back anger. People pay a lot of money to come here, and they think they have the right to make you feel like nothing. I get it. But you're at work, understand? You can't act on those feelings. Sam nodded, but his face showed his pain. The manager looked away. This kid was still so young and so tired. Scarlett looked out the window, replaying the moments she yelled at the waiter. She didn't even fully know why she snapped. Maybe Sam wasn't really the one she wanted to yell at. Maybe it was her own helplessness. Her mother was in the hospital. The latest test results were bad. Nothing was under her control. But here, in this restaurant, at least she could set her boundaries. That's what she thought. But now, hearing the silence from inside, something gnawed at her. Just then, an older waitress approached to refill the water at Scarlett's table. She quietly filled the pitcher and smiled. Older waitress, softly, "Enjoy your meal, ma'am. I hope everything gets better soon." Scarlett looked up and met her eyes. There was something softening in that look. For the first time that evening, someone approached her without anger. Scarlett, quietly, "Thank you." After the woman left, Scarlett leaned back. She closed her eyes and shook her head slightly. Scarlett, whispering to herself, "What am I doing?" At that moment, Sam fixed his uniform and returned to the dining room. His face was tired but controlled. Scarlett noticed, but they didn't make eye contact. Still, something unspoken, unresolved was between them. This night wasn't over. The story was just beginning. Scarlett slowly stood up from her chair. She didn't take her bag. Her eyes stayed fixed on where Sam was. Driven by an inner urge, a curiosity stronger than reason, her feet led her down the empty hallway beside the kitchen. Sam noticed her just as he was about to return to the table where he was serving water. They met face to face at the corner of the hallway, away from the eyes of others, but right in the center of their feelings. Scarlett, after a short silence, clear but cold. Making eye contact while working isn't always seen as arrogance, just so you know. Sam, calm but firm. If I get scolded for making eye contact, then I don't stand a chance. Scarlett slightly lowered her head. A faint tension showed on her face. For the first time, Sam's directness caught her off guard. Scarlett, stepping forward, "You know, I didn't plan on yelling at anyone today, but sometimes little things make you snap. You could have controlled your tone better too." Sam, not looking away. Sometimes just doing your job makes someone angry, because that person is angry about something else. I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, right? Scarlett was silent. Those words hit her deeper than she expected. She said nothing for a moment, just turned her head and looked down. Then her voice softened. Scarlett, sighing, "My mom's in the hospital. The test results came today. The doctors aren't hopeful." Sam's face changed. He didn't know what to say for a moment. Scarlett, looking away, "Maybe yelling at you wasn't your fault, but treating you that way, even knowing it was wrong, I couldn't stop myself then." Sam, after a pause, quietly, "I get lost in those hospital halls every day, and no one knows what I'm going through." They locked eyes. This time, they said something else. Silent understanding. At that moment, a woman waiter appeared at the corner of the hallway, watching them. Scarlett stepped back and straightened her shoulders. Scarlett, short but firm. "Working as a waiter doesn't mean you deserve to be yelled at. I owe you that, and this is more than just an apology." Sam nodded, silently this time. There was now an opening between them. Maybe not friendship, but honesty. As Scarlett walked back to her table, Sam looked after her for a moment. For the first time, she didn't seem like a stranger to him. And when Scarlett sat down, she didn't snap her fingers to call the waiter. They just met eyes, and she smiled. When Scarlett returned to her table, she noticed the noise around her clearly for the first time. People were laughing, forks clinking on plates, soft jazz playing in the background. But in her mind, Sam's voice still echoed. "I get lost in those hospital halls every day." She took out her phone. The last unread message from her mother was still there. Her fingers trembled, but she didn't open it. She just took a deep, tired breath. Just then, the restaurant manager came out of the kitchen frowning. His eyes searched for Sam. He found him at the corner clearing empty plates. He quickened his pace and approached him. Manager, stern and low voice. "Sam, what do you think you're doing tonight? Arguing with a famous actress is not part of your job. You can't argue with customers." Sam, with a short sigh. "I wasn't arguing with her. I just had to talk." Manager, angrily. I don't care about your have-tos. When someone like Scarlett Johansson walks in here, you smile and take their order. It's that simple. At that moment, Scarlett stood up. She walked straight over to the manager. Her eyes no longer held anger but clarity. Scarlett, firmly. If anyone crossed the line here, it was me. And this young man taught me a lesson tonight. Instead of scolding him, you need to listen. The manager was surprised. He stepped back a few steps. Manager. Ms. Johansson, I'm just trying to protect the restaurant's reputation. Scarlett, without blinking. Reputation isn't kept by stepping on people, especially when they're doing their job right. Sam looked away. The manager was silent now. Scarlett turned briefly to Sam. Scarlett, softly. How kind we are to others shows who we really are. I forgot that, but you reminded me. Scarlett grabbed her bag. It was time to go, but this time, she felt a little lighter. Sam watched her leave. Tonight, a waiter's life would carry a memory, heavier than any menu could hold. Scarlett paused just outside the restaurant door. She took out her phone and opened her mother's message. Sweetheart, the doctors ordered more tests. This time, they suspect something in the brainstem. She put her hand to her mouth and took a deep breath. Her eyes welled up, but she didn't cry. She just lowered her head and started walking under the pale streetlights. Behind her, the restaurant would realize much later what this night had truly changed. Inside, Sam was polishing glasses behind the counter. The manager was still sulking in his office. One of the waiters, Lena, approached Sam. Lena, whispering, "What did you do?" The woman actually defended you, apologizing to Scarlett Johansson. Wow. Sam, with a tired smile. Life is strange, Lena. Sometimes you get in trouble just for speaking the truth, and sometimes your whole world changes. Before leaving, Lena added one more line. Lena, maybe tonight was the night everything started for you. Sam paused. As he wiped his hands with a towel, his eyes drifted away. Then he pulled out a crumpled piece of paper from his shirt pocket. A small drawing. A little girl had drawn it when he volunteered at a shelter. A lone tree, with a child in its shadow. He whispered softly, I promised you, Maya. I said one day everything would get better. At that moment, a new customer entered, an elderly woman with a cane. She looked for a seat. No one noticed, but Sam quickly went and pulled out a chair. Sam, smiling. Good evening, ma'am. You're lucky. The best table is free. The woman nodded gently. Her eyes were teary but kind. Woman. Thank you, dear. You know, it's been a long time since someone treated me like this. Sam replied with a warm smile. After the fight with Scarlett, this was where he found himself again, doing small acts of kindness for people. And all night, something changed in the restaurant. Everyone's gaze softened a little, because sometimes it's not a star falling, but a waiter's honesty that lights the biggest flame. Scarlett walked all night, in the quiet streets where the lights were fading. Being alone felt good. Finally, she stopped in front of the hospital where her mother was staying. It was almost midnight when she went inside. The nurses knew her. No one asked any questions. When she entered her mother's room, she was still asleep. The monitors by the bedside beeped, steady but heavy. Scarlett pulled a chair and sat down. She took her mother's hand. Scarlett, whispering, I told you I'd be strong, but some days I break down even around others. Her mother didn't wake, but Scarlett kept talking. Scarlett, today I yelled at a waiter, without reason, but then he told me the truth, right to my face, and he was right. Maybe tonight, for the first time, I admitted it to myself. It's not just your illness I fear. It's that if I lose you, I won't have anyone to tell. Tears ran down her cheeks. She squeezed her mother's hand tighter. Scarlett with a broken voice. If you go, no one will remember my childhood. Meanwhile, the restaurant had closed. Sam was about to leave. As he grabbed his jacket, the manager shouted after him. Manager, stern voice. Sam, if I ever see you argue with a customer like that again, this will be your last night here. No matter who it is, the customer is always right, got it? Sam turned and looked the manager in the eyes. There was a short silence. Sam, calmly, okay, but if one day your daughter gets scolded in a restaurant, I hope someone stands up for her like I did." He closed the door slowly. Outside, the cool night air hit his face. He reached into his pocket and pulled out an old, cracked keychain. The photo corner was worn, a young woman and a child. He took a deep breath. Sam, to himself. Being alone is a habit, but sometimes someone comes along and pulls you out of that loneliness, and you start believing again. At that moment, Scarlett stopped in the hospital corridor. Her phone rang. It was an unknown number. She answered. Woman's voice. "Hello, Scarlett. This is Dr. Lin. Your mother's latest MRI results are in. Unfortunately, the tumor is growing fast. The next 3 weeks are critical. We are asking you to come in for a meeting tomorrow morning." Scarlett leaned against the wall, her vision blurred. For the first time, she felt she couldn't be strong. But that night was a turning point, not just for Scarlett, but for Sam too. Though their lives were worlds apart, they walked the same edge of truth. People afraid of losing had to learn to hold on to each other. Scarlett leaned against the hospital wall. Dr. Lin's news shook her. Her eyes were closed, but a voice kept running through her mind. Her mother's time was limited. She didn't want to face that truth alone. She took out her phone, paused, opened her contacts, then closed them. Then she dialed a number. Sam on the phone. "Hello?" Scarlett. Tired but clear. "It's Scarlett. I wanted to apologize again for last night, but that's not all. I have a favor to ask." Sam, pausing for a moment. "Go ahead." Scarlett, direct. "There's no one I can talk to about my mom. Even telling a stranger feels easier than keeping it all inside. I want to talk to you. Maybe for a few minutes. Maybe over a cup of coffee." Sam was silent on the phone. Then he said just one word. "Sam, where are you?" 30 minutes later, Scarlett and Sam sat on the same bench, in a small park, on a morning where birdsong slowly filled the air. Scarlett, quietly. "You know, my relationship with my mom was never perfect, but I was always the one by her side. My dad left a long time ago. My mom always said, 'Hold on.' But no one knows how exhausting being strong really is." Sam, calm, understanding. "Sometimes, even the strongest people need to lean on someone. But when everyone around them calls them strong, no one notices when they fall." Scarlett's eyes filled with tears. "The moment we argued, something inside me broke. But from that broken place, it felt like a window opened. For the first time, someone looked at me, not just as Scarlett Johansson, but as a fragile human being." Sam nodded but said nothing. The silence was healing for both of them. After a moment, Sam spoke slowly. "My mom is still in the hospital too. Lung cancer. She's been in treatment for 3 years. Seeing her alive every morning, it gives hope, but it also scares me." Scarlett looked at him, surprised but understanding. "Scarlett, maybe we're in the same place, just on different paths." They both looked up at the sky. The morning sun was rising. A bird chirped. And maybe, for the first time, they felt they weren't alone. Before going home, Scarlett stopped by the hospital. Her mother was still asleep, but her breathing was calmer. The machines by her bedside mixed their sounds with the morning. Scarlett held her hand and leaned close. Scarlett, whispering. "Today, I talked to someone who didn't know me but still listened, made me feel I'm not alone. I'll be strong, Mom. But now, not just with my own strength." Her mother's eyelids moved slightly. It was a small hope. Scarlett's eyes filled with tears, but this time they were tears of relief. At the same time, Sam was at another hospital, sitting by his mother's side. She was struggling to breathe. Next to her was a small bag, filled with prescriptions and overdue bills. Sam tried to put on a tired smile, but his eyes were full of worry. Then a nurse knocked and came in holding a paper. Nurse, gently. "Mr. Sam, all your treatment costs have been covered by a private fund. Your mother will start a new trial treatment next week. Everything is paid." Sam froze. Sam. "What? But who?" The nurse just smiled. "Nurse. They didn't want to give their name, just left a note." She handed him the paper. Sam unfolded it and read a small, simple message. "Sometimes a stranger does what family cannot. Sam's eyes filled with tears. He closed them and held his mother's hand. Tears fell quietly, but this time, not with pain, but with gratitude. That same morning, Scarlett sat in her mother's room. Her mother's eyes fluttered open. In a weak voice, she spoke. "Mother," whispering. "Scarlett, are you here?" Scarlett smiled. "Scarlett." "Yes, Mom. I'm here. And things will get a little better." For the first time, two complete strangers had touched each other's lives in just one evening, and that touch changed the fate of two mothers. Some people come into our lives by chance, but some come because they're meant to be there. And that morning, for Scarlett and Sam, a light finally appeared at the end of a dark tunnel.